Pathfinder character sheets are updated on Roll20. Just slightly.
I've been mainly using Path Builder.
I've also been using Path Builder.
Yeah, I'm using Path Builder.
That's what I've been using because that's what Donovan gave me.
All
It's
right,
more
we're
efficient,
live.
honestly.
We are live from some state in a country somewhere.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never know.
You'll never know. How would you
You'll
know?
never know.
We don't even know.
That's right,
What?
you kidnapped them and shoved them into a room.
A rubber room.
With
Rubber room with
No.
I mean, it was there.
You did walk into that one.
Anyway, last time on Beyond the Fourth Wall, our brave adventurers escaped from a vault, bringing many an artifact and magic item with them. Among other things, among those magic artifacts and items was a large rusted horn, which, little to them, allowed demons to track their location and hunt them down. By the time they ended up finding some kind of civilization, a demon had found them and had crawled its way out of the Nine Hells to try and reclaim the rusted horn for itself. Our heroes managed to fight off the demon to the point where it felt the need to teleport away and lost the the rusted horn, somewhere among the plains. And now we resume with our party sheltering in the magical, misfitful, amazing store of magic and other things that start with M.
So, Duzon. I know I've been talking about this reincarnation thing quite excessively, but I'm just trying to wrap my brain around this. A goddess has already met me before. I'm pretty sure the god of death intimidated us in a tomb a couple days ago. What is going on? And what do we do with that information? Do I have a grave? Meanwhile,
If I may interject, if you do know that you were reincarnated, do you know what your original name before the reincarnation was? If there is a grave, it would be under that name.
Not the faintest idea. It's maybe? What would Rari need to roll to see if he could even recall it? Donovan? Uh-oh.
Sorry about that, my uncle just got home.
No worries.
Did you need me for anything?
Yeah, so Rari, after, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation until I get it thoroughly in my head about your character, Donnie. I apologize.
Not complex.
I know, but my brain has several names memorized, and I'm struggling to remember yours for some reason.
Cyrus.
So Cyrus brought up the point after I was talking to Duzon, but Duzon's kind of away. like this
How else do you do
concept of, oh my goodness. Anyway, so
each time you were asking the questions, I would be going, yes, yes, it would seem.
oh, so yeah, so Rari was asking, wouldn't he have a grave if he was reincarnated? Then
It is tough to
Cyrus
say.
brought up the fact that if there is, maybe I could try remembering my name from
Oh,
my
I didn't
past
suggest
life.
it that far. I just said it
Or,
would
well-
be under a different name.
Or it would be under a different name. And I was asking you, Donovan, if Rari could try and recollect or maybe think hard about times past, if he ever dreamt in his past about this past life at all. If he could recall a name. If not, if it's impossible, it's impossible.
I mean, it's possible, it's just not easy.
So what would Rari have to roll if he's gonna make this attempt? It is a recall knowledge, I believe.
It is a recall knowledge.
But I'm not entirely sure about what skill that falls under.
Let me look.
I do have lore of the underworld, but it's a different kind of underworld.
Yeah, it's not the plane that is the underworld.
Right.
You can make a recall knowledge with the following options: Arcana, Occultism, Religion, or Nature.
I will do religion. That's a 14.
You think of, like, cause it's hard to even know what you were in your past life now that you've been really thinking into reincarnation. Like, you try and think back when it comes to what you know about religion from the grave sites that you've burgled, or what you know from religion that you've seen from your city that you've been in, that you were born in and lived in for most of your life. And you're trying to just think of anything that calls to you. And the only thing that calls to you, at least religious-wise, is stuff that has happened to you in this life. Experiences that you have had in this life, and you can't really recall anything from a previous life. The
I'm
most
afraid
that
all I know.
the most that
Go
you
ahead.
can think of that would be maybe beneficial for you to look in is the God of Secrets and the God of Secrets, essentially, because you be living the life you've led. You've held a lot of secrets.
That is, yeah. Well, I don't think I know much about former me, but I do know a god that might know a lot about old me, if there was an old me. At this point, there is an old me. And that would be a god of secrets. Though I can't quite tell what I would need to do to seek them out. Not exactly the churchgoer, as it were, or the beautiful congregation. This is all very new, at least in this form I am. So, I mean, that's the best I can do. Maybe if I have another dream, but unlikely, considering everything else I went through. Is the shopkeep out now safely?
They've already been out because they sold this really nice hammer to you, and then you gave it to Duzon.
Right.
But they have since gone outside to continue finishing the ritual of drawing their teleportation circle.
Okay, cool. So, fellas, what do you want to do? She's finishing up a ritual.
Wait, didn't I sell the like evil magic items, or did I not do that?
You didn't get the chance to do that because the demon attacked.
Oh yeah, then the demon attacked.
Another way, angels.
But yeah, the shopkeeper is very much not in a rush to stay because a demon attack, and she doesn't really want to tempt another one. So she is very quickly preparing to just teleport her and her entire shop away.
Fair enough.
So whatever trades you want to do, I recommend you do them quickly.
I already got a new hammer, so I'm set.
Rari's probably going to give up his tiger's eye, his 4 tiger's eye, worth 40 silver total.
Yeah, she'll give you 30 silver for it.
Understandable.
Because profit-based.
Yep. She's got to make money somehow.
Alright, that's your one trade with her, Rari. Anybody else want to use their one trade with her before she poofs away?
Question. The information on the +1 striking cold iron warhammer.
Yes.
Did you send it to me through DMs or this chat?
That's a good question.
Or anywhere else?
I think I may not have sent it to you at all.
I would so like that. I probably wrote it down and then fucking forgot that shit.
I sent you the Cloak of Gnawing. The Cloak
Yes.
of Gnawing leaves.
Did I end up getting that or no?
You did.
Did I end up getting? Okay, so I did get it. Okay, so Duzon and
So
Duzon is a cloak now.
it is a +1 striking, crushing, cold iron warhammer.
Yes.
+1 just means it gets +1 to hit, and striking means it gets an additional die of damage. And
Ooh.
crushing means that if you critically hit somebody with an attack, crushing. Let me just make sure I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there we go.
I'm writing this down
crushing
as
rune.
I go, and I gotta make sure I click save notes.
Weapons
I
with
keep
this
forgetting to do that sometimes.
weapons with this rune empower
ahead,
your
Dom.
strength, and attacks. Attacks with these weapons leave your foe staggered. When you critically hit a target with this weapon, your target becomes clumsy 1 and enfeebled 1 until the end of your turn.
Clumsy one.
Weapon potency +1 gives a +1
Until
item
my
bonus.
next turn?
Hold on. +1 bonus. Yeah, so +1 gives you +1 to attacks. Striking gives you an additional damage die for the weapon. And crushing makes it so that if you critically hit somebody with your hammer, they are clumsy 1 and enfeebled 1 until the end of your next turn. Which is
Okay,
actually
so
kind of good if you think. That's kind of really good.
that
if
is
you think
that is
about it.
very fucking. That's very fucking good. I'm happy with the double die of damage and that. I got a good ass hammer. And I'm assuming cold iron is just the material, right?
Cold iron is the material of the hammer. Let me check if it adds any bonuses other than the fact that certain creatures are weak to cold iron. This is a standard grade cold iron object. Standard grade. It is harder to break, but that's for shields. So you don't really have to.
So demons and fae are weak to cold iron.
Yeah, demons and fae are weak to cold iron. That's about it. If it's made into a weapon, it deals more damage to demons and fae. If it's made into a shield, it is harder to break.
I'm clicking save notes. Please tell me the notes saved. Okay, it looks like the notes saved. Okay, I got it written down. That is super sweet.
Donnie, did you want to make any purchases from this lady?
I wanted to sell the doubling rings and the manacles of persuasion. And then if I was going to buy anything, I'd ask her what she'd recommend for kineticists. Because I wouldn't know, as a player, what to look for.
She would also have no idea about items for kineticists. But as for selling the doubling rings...
And the manacles of persuasion.
She will take the... Those are just regular doubling rings, so she'll give you 40 gold for the doubling rings.
Okay.
And the manacles of... Oop. Manacle.
Bonus points because it starts with the letter M.
Bonus points because it starts with the letter M. That is true. There you go. The Manacles of Persuasion she will give you 30 gold for.
Okay.
Question.
Answer.
So, cold iron. I made my warm hammer into a cold iron material, and it jumped from a D8 to a D10. Is that right?
Isn't your Warhammer a godly weapon?
Yes, but I didn't. It would always show up as a D8 on Path Builder.
Really?
Yes, I believe so.
Weird. It should be a D10 anyway, right? Because your godly weapon elevates it to a D10.
Yeah. Either way, it's up to you. If it stays a D10, I am perfectly okay with that. I just want to make sure I know what's going on.
I say it's still a D10 because it's your godly weapon and it would move it up a die level anyway.
That is very much fair. I will continue. I will stick with that. And if anything, it's just shown the way it is. So that's perfect. I should make sure how to get the striking feature on it.
Oh, you go into the options, and
Okay.
there's option that says striking rune. You could add weapon striking.
Weapon striking. Okay. Give. There we go. Damn, 2d10 plus 4.
Yeah.
Oh, with a +1 and it uses athletics, I'm pretty sure, so. Okay, alright, I am set. I am set.
I feel like Peter has a really good weapon now. But yeah, with all of you having made a purchase and or sold stuff to Miss Lady here, because you still have not gotten her name, she's going to then finish her little teleportation ritual, and you see her magical hut kind of almost like collapse in on itself before slamming in on itself and then just disappearing with a prominent pop noise. And now you guys
So
are able...
strange how that shop is.
Go ahead.
It's so strange how that shop works. But go ahead.
Personally never encountered that shop before. Well, until now, I guess.
Sorry to cut you off, Donovan, as you were saying.
It's all good. Now you people are able to continue forward towards the town that you were going to.
Very well.
Which I believe you guys were making your way towards the west coast, correct?
Yes. Right, Duzon?
I believe so.
I believe that is correct. We were looking for the coast because we were going to follow it to a port, hopefully.
Alright. So, you left the abandoned town of Blaise pretty early in the morning. Taking you a bit of time to get to where the demon attacked you. You are not going to have any troubles for the rest of your journey to the next town over. And as you slowly make your way towards this town, Duzon,
Yes.
I need you to make a nature check for me, please.
Oh, shit.
As the nature becomes more and more abundant the further away you get away from Blaise.
Good.
I am also an expert
So
in
that
nature.
is a
I might also know what's
that is a
going on.
24.
Okay. You feel the flow of life energy come back to normal levels. And over the horizon you hear a very familiar sound of your moose trotting towards your side.
Oh my god.
You are now
I can't
reunited.
believe it.
You are now reunited with your Megalosaurus.
He puts his hand out saying, as he doesn't say it, but he puts his hand out to, like, you know, give him, like, pats on the head or the back to be like, just like an I miss you type thing.
It'll definitely charge up to you and let you do that.
Meanwhile, if this was any other character, they'd be like, "Oh my god, I missed you!" It's like the scene from Deadpool when the dog finally shows up, and
Except
Deadpool's
instead
like,
of
"Come on, girl!"
Come on, girl.
Except it's a 9-foot tall moose
And a 7-foot tall tree
Hear that
man.
sweet sound. Hold me close and never let me go.
Just so I'm aware, John, I do have the grimoire in my possession, yeah?
Yeah, it's in your satchel.
Okay. Rari's gonna take that out.
Okay. It is getting
His
dark.
curiosity... Oh.
It is
Ooh.
starting to get dark,
Oh.
so...
In that case, he's just gonna put it back in, and then follow the rest of the party to wherever we are going.
When it comes to true nightfall, the sun has gone down and the moon has risen. The people of the day have long since gone to sleep. You make it to the... Does this town have a gate?
Does it?
Lower the gate! Lower it! It's just a wooden
Open the
fence.
gate!
It's just a
don't
wooden
believe it
fence
does.
around the perimeter of the town.
It actually does have a wall, so yes, it does, not like a true wall, it doesn't have like a castle or anything like that, but it has a wall.
Okay. I suppose some defense is better than none.
So as you guys approach this wall, you see the guards kind of like stiffen up because they see people coming to their position at night. And then they notice Duzon. And then they just... Keep in mind, these people are dwarves.
Do they notice my 9-foot-tall megaloceros?
They don't care about that. They see you, and they kneel.
Oh.
They kneel and then look up to you and start speaking Dwarvish.
Oh, snap. Oh, it's clicking.
So,
Like
correct
this
me if I'm
clicking?
wrong, but Duzon is the only one here that understands Dwarvish.
I only know Draconic, Sylvan, and Common.
I do not know Dwarvish, so yeah.
Alright. So, Duzon, as these guards kind
Duzon
of...
speaks like a Duzon speaks like a broken Dwarvish.
You speak it fluent enough.
Yeah,
You speak it just
like
as
I
well as
have
you
a
speak
tree
Common.
accent.
A heavy
You know what?
tree
That's
accent.
fair. That's true.
The tree-ing.
As these dwarves kind of take a knee and just like, they kind of look up, Great Avatar, you have come to save us once again.
Sorry, you were cutting out a little bit. What'd they say again?
They kind of look up to you after bowing and getting on a knee, just, Great Avatar of the woods, you've come to save our town once more.
Uh-oh, he cut out again.
Hello?
Mother yucker.
There we go.
Hopefully this is the last time I
hope
have to
that-
repeat this.
You only cut out at like I got most of it. You only cut out at when he said tap.
Basically,
Yeah.
he's saying, Great Avatar of the woods,
you-
you've come to save our town once more.
There we go. Oh, brother. Oh, motherfucker.
Oh, you're a bit of a celebrity here, huh?
Yeah. Have I come to save this town? I mean, that's...
So,
don't
what you
know.
know about this town, you, Duzon, specifically know that this is not Yuko.
Okay.
So keep in mind, this is a dwarvish town. The gate leads to a hole in the side of a hill that then leads down to the rest of the city.
And, huh?
Huh?
My brain just kind of like... So the gate leads into a town that has a hole that leads into the city.
No. The city, town, whatever it's called, is under the ground itself. The only thing that you can see right now is the gate that leads into the mountain hill where the town is located underneath.
Okay. All right. Okay, that makes sense now. And so what's our objective is right now? I guessing is to figure out where the fuck we are.
Yeah,
Is that it?
more or less. That's what I figured, at least.
Well, now I know where we are, but now I got to figure out because the Necrostorm, if I'm not mistaken, is far away from us. What do I say to these people? I don't want to stir them into panic, but like, I'm struggling here.
Son, you could use this fame to get some information.
Like what?
Well, if I were in your position having anyone take a knee for me, what is this place called? It would be a good start. And maybe, oh, I don't know. What do they need? Perhaps a way to bolster allies and things of that nature. After all, you seem to be well known.
So they see as to protect our town. And you know what I say to the dwarves in Dwarvish?
You've heard of me.
They kind of both get off of their knees. There's like, the one with the longer, more like aged beard, more weathered look to him. Just, once many years ago, you saved our town from a dark and terrible storm.
What is this town?
This here be the town. Where'd my map go? There it is. This here be the town of Mighton.
I was situated in Yuko.
Well, then, if not you directly, then one of your kind, one of your kin, and you have this town's forever debt.
I am glad Boreal could send one of us here.
As you say that, you kind of look
My
around.
party, my
Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Come on.
I was gonna say, as you say that, you kind of look around and
lost
you
my train
notice
of
that
thought.
they are they have very plentiful woods, and they are very, like, the hills around them are very plentiful with trees and nature and shrubberies and stuff like that.
Okay.
may we come in?
Yeah, of course. And then he kind of, the hammer that he's holding, he kind of goes up and slams it on the gate a couple times. And almost you hear like the noises of clockwork gears, like and then a
Marvelous
final
structure.
kind of like ka-chunk, and then the doors just slowly open up.
I hope they have a good source of light.
While we're headed in, Rari is going to ask one of the dwarves closest to us regarding the dagger he obtained, and what it. He knows it's of dwarvish significance, but he's like, where would I go to perhaps return or bestow this item? I know there's an oath tied to it, but I have no clue where to go, except to the dwarves.
So do you actually take the dagger out and show it to them?
Yes.
They're going to attempt to disarm it and take it from you.
Oh, I would give this willingly to you. I'm not.
Well, no, what I
Trying to-
mean when they are going to snatch it from your hands.
Oh. Wow.
And then he kind of just gives you a dirty look and then puts it in his coat before walking into, ushering you guys into the gate.
So is that the home of the weapon? I merely wanted to return it.
Roll persuasion. Or diplomacy.
Alright. That is a 26.
The dwarf looks you dead in your eyes. You be wearing the cloaks of a thief. Scaled one. And you're telling me that you didn't take it from where it belonged.
It was not where it was supposed to be. It was in a vault. Someone must have stored it there. I believe, at the very least, from what I can gather, it looked like a religious item. And I took it from the vault, hoping to find a location. A dwarvish one. I don't know if this is its actual home, or if this is a place that could help me find where this knife belongs.
He kind of
And
looks you
sure.
up and down and just like, oh, you need not to worry about that no more, lad. It's in better hands than yours.
I sure hope so. I was looking to make an oath with it, but I suppose you're right. Probably not in the hands of someone that looks like me.
The oath is not one that your kind can take.
With that, Rari will go in with...
First off, what kind of oath is the dagger making saying to take again?
You don't know.
Fuck, I don't know. Never mind then.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, though, I do like learning about other places. What would the oath be?
The dwarf just kind of sighs. The oath is of duty and of service. Something a thief like you would know very little of.
Am I not capable of changing my ways? So,
The dwarf just kind of
Wow.
shrugs. That's not a risk I'm willing to take.
Do I hear this conversation?
The dwarf isn't exactly being quiet about it, so yes.
I turn around, and he just said like, "Oh, something your kind. It's worth of duty and work. Something your kind wouldn't know anything about." That's what he said, right?
Yeah, he's pretty much just... He's accusing Rari of being a thief because he's wearing thieving clothes.
I walk up to this dwarf and I look him down and I say,
May I ask you give him a chance?
He looks up to you and just kind of like lets out a deep sigh. Maybe if it were something less precious and less important. But this He kind of pats the dagger that's in his coat pocket that he took from Rari. This is sacred we're talking about. It's not just your average dagger.
If my friend fails to attune to it, I will have him promptly give it back.
The dwarf just kind of roll diplomacy.
Could I assist in that role?
Sure, but if you fail, there's consequences.
Ooh.
Alrighty.
Remind me again what assisting, like, what would be the rules around that?
So, in order to assist with any skill, you need to be there physically to assist. And you need to be trained in the skill as well.
Okay.
So
what skill? Diplomacy? I am trained in diplomacy.
Alright, then you need to make a DC 20 diplomacy check. If you succeed, you give Duzon an additional +1. If you fail, nothing happens. If you crit fail, you give him a -1.
In that case, Rari's not gonna chance it.
Okay.
well, all right. So good thing of that because I rolled and I got a 28.
So you are making a request from this guy. He is extremely favorable towards you because he sees you as a part of the people that saved his town. So that lowers your DC by a lot. You see the dwarf just kind of relax and just kind of go from stiffened up and serious to just kind of like, alright, if you can trust him with being in your company, then fine. He kind of takes out the dagger and hands it to you, Duzon.
I understand your appreciation for sacred artifacts, so I will make sure he takes dire care of this.
I did bring it all the way here without a single scuff.
Duzon kneels down to Rari.
If you lose this, or damage it, they will kill you.
Well, I intend not to lose it or break it. It's a crafty design, to say the least. Nothing that I could ever make. But it'll be in my care and protection.
Good.
The dwarf will then finish ushering you guys inside and then signal for the gate to be closed as the gate closes behind you guys. You are led to what looks like the entrance of a mine shaft and an elevator, almost like a freight elevator, just instead of metal, it's made out of wood. And the freight elevator will lower down until the light from whatever torches at the top were almost gone. And then a few minutes later, a light of the town starts coming into view as this elevator slows down and comes to a stop, and the doors of the elevator open up and you are allowed into this town.
All right, we're in.
An interesting sight, for sure.
Someone of my kind was here. I told the town of Yuko to do the exact same thing.
And some didn't make it.
That story I don't know for this town.
Well, for the town you were protecting.
I ensured that anyone I could help survived.
I mean, that's all you can do. I now understand what those feel like, and ugh, I could only imagine for those who couldn't. But if this town made it okay, that gives hope at least.
Yes.
So as you guys go into this town, I'm going to start with Donnie for this. What is the first thing that your character is going to want to do, Donnie?
Look for an inn or something. Don't know how long we've been walking, but if it's gotten from day to night, then good bed is in order.
Day or night?
It is very night.
You said night. It is
Very
very
night. Then let us, yes.
Let us find shelter.
All this time I'm thinking it's like day, or like at least sunset. I'm like, what?
No, you guys.
It's
So,
moon.
so Peter, you guys left the previous abandoned town of Velez at day, and you arrived at Mitten at night.
Okay.
You took one full day's worth of travel to get here.
Fair enough.
And that was without complications.
Well, half of it was without complications.
There was just a slight setback of the Devil's Sword. But it's okay.
Yeah.
We're at least safe now.
That didn't take too long.
True.
But
either
yeah,
Just like a few minutes.
it only took a couple rounds. But yeah, you guys you make it into this town and you start looking for a tavern, and this is a dwarvish town. Taverns are a dime a dozen here. Taverns, inns, breweries, distilleries.
Wow. This is a lot of options.
I'm not getting the nutrients of sunlight in here, am I?
No, you are not. Luckily, you can go one full week without being in direct sunlight before you start starving.
Okay. You know what? That makes me feel better.
Solar power activated.
I won't have to worry about that as long as I'm let out every now and then, like a puppy. Okay, go get your sunlight, boy. Go get your sunlight.
Stand in a clearing and just sit there T-posed for a while.
But yeah, both
Rari
you
is your
and
estimate.
Little Flame can last one full week without sunlight before you begin to starve.
Neat.
Nice. Oh.
So are you guys looking for any type of tavern or in particular, or just a random one?
Rari would look for the one that's most convenient. He's not exactly going to live it up in luxury. He just needs a bed with hopefully a pillow.
So you're gonna go for the inn that's right at the entrance that is gonna be super expensive because it's meant as a tourist trap.
Rari might not want to go for the tourist trap.
Yeah, you say you want to go for the most convenient one, and then you see one that's like very nice on the outside, but you get like a peek through the window and it's like very kind of not so nice.
Tourist traps.
It's essentially
it
the equivalent
reminds
of
me
a
of
Motel
home.
6. It looks nice from the outside, but once you actually get a room and stay, it's not nice on the inside and may or may not have bed bugs.
It kind of reminds me of home, the way that place looks, and Rari kind of gestures to that one. Charming on the outside, decrepit on the inside. At least I hope to be both. Trust me, I've slept in worse. That's only a small upgrade. If you don't count the bed bugs. Or the other people trying to kill you in your sleep.
So, there's the most convenient option out of the way. You guys going with a different tavern specifically, or are you having me roll for it?
Duzon, what do you think?
Don't ask me. I'm not even going. I'm not. You don't need a tavern.
Well,
I don't need to eat.
Cyrus, any good options?
Which ones like look like that they're like they would have like really soft beds?
Make a perception check.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, would the Horn of Rust effect have worn off by this point?
Yeah, it's been a few hours.
Okay.
Oh.
Move those so I have my actual numbers. Perception. 22.
You look and kind of like look around, trying to figure out what is where. And you find this one, a very smaller looking one with the lights still on, the doors kind of kept open by a smallish anvil. And it goes by the name the Rusted Tavern.
A twist of irony for sure.
Not 100% certain, but this should suffice.
Well, it's at least better than the tourist trap, so I'll take it. Besides, it's getting late and
It already is.
I need... Yeah. It's getting later, I should say. So, without further ado, after you.
You walk into this tavern, inn, whatever you like to call it. It is very quiet. There's not very many people in the bar area right now. Just the person behind the bar, you assume who is the owner. And he's just kind of wiping down the bar. Ah, travelers. Welcome to the Rusted Inn. Are you looking for a drink before you move on, or a place to bed down?
A place to bed down.
Very well.
How much for 2 rooms?
He kind of like counts how many people there are. Are you sure you just need 2?
Oh, our big fellow, he doesn't much sleep.
He shrugs.
Jews up.
Very well.
Huh?
I bought, or I'm about to buy 2 rooms for the inn that we're at. And,
Yeah, we got very well, and then silence.
He's kind of just
Yeah.
stroking his beard, thinking of like, for 2 rooms, I say 4 silver.
fair enough. And Rari will pay the 4 silver.
Or, I mean, we split the cost, because that's, both of us.
Oh, I have it covered. Don't you worry.
And he slides over two little stones with numbers on them.
You could cover me in a different situation. For tonight, it's just better that we get sleep.
Agreed.
While he takes his stone number or key or what have you.
And Cyrus will take the other one.
Little Flame is going to opt to stay with Duzon in the main area.
Well, Duzon and Little Flame will be headed off to rest.
Rest well.
Little Flame nods.
See you in the morning.
Have a good night.
You two head up to bed, get comfortable, start drifting off to sleep. Duzon, is there anything you want to do in the main area other than just stand still? Duzon,
You're mute, Peter.
Peter.
Ah!
I'm gonna look to Little Flame and be like,
I am glad my job and the job of the others like me. I'm glad it worked to keep these people safe. And we allowed their society to flourish. I just hope I can still keep them safe.
and then I drift into just standing tree mode.
Little Flame will nod and then just like try his best not to set anything on fire.
Yeah.
You just like
Vibrate like a small ADHD child.
compresses the flames down just a little bit.
It's just Duzon going,
Don't touch that. Don't touch that.
Like anything that's like
Don't
a
touch that.
candle or a torch, he's like about to touch it. Don't touch that.
Don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that.
That just
No,
happens while the
Stop
barkeep
that.
is like
No.
going to bed.
Stop
It's
that.
just like
Go.
all
No.
you hear is no.
No.
Stop that. Don't touch
No.
that. No.
No.
Eventually, after running out of things that he's been told not to touch, he will just sit down and just pout.
Darn, I can't be a pyro. It's my calling.
I mean, that's literally his existence's purpose.
All right.
literally who I am.
It's
His
who
literally
I am.
his reason for being.
You don't understand.
So,
Donnie.
all right.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you would like to do in your room in the private? Your first real time of having any privacy since you met up with these strangers who almost killed you.
Yeah. Who got me teleported like halfway across the world?
Yeah, is there anything you would like to do with your first real sense of privacy since you've met these people?
Probably, like, just sit down, think about the situation to actually process it, and then maybe try to further identify. I have this one thing. Where is it in my notes? I have You said it was a very nice leather-bound book with a spiderweb design on it.
Yes, I did.
We try to further identify what it is. Like, will it kill me if I ever open this? Considering the horn.
Let's find out.
Rather get a better appraisal on that. So I have the spare time.
tell me I wrote down the name of this in my notes.
I hope you did too, because you never gave me a name.
I'm gonna be right back.
Okay.
Oh, and there was also purple filigree on it. So that helps narrow down whatever it is on your end. Plus the track record of like all the items that we found aside from like the doubling rings are like less than savory so far.
Yeah.
So book is now suspicious.
You look deeper into this tome. This grimoire
Okay, so it is a grimoire.
is a grimoire.
Okay.
What level are you? You're 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna make this a tad harder. Go ahead and roll me a Arcana. This is going to
Okay,
be
that's-
a DC 20.
Arcana. 32.
Alright. You kind of open this up and flick through it. And the more you flick through it, the more you realize there is no end to the pages of this grimoire. This is a greater endless tome.
Oh.
When opened, the grimoire has unlimited pages that seem almost eager to transcribe spells. Unlike most grimoires, it has no limit to the number of spells that can be transcribed in it. The grimoire's eagerness to contain the spells that you know grants you a +1 bonus to learn a spell. Actually, no, because it's greater, it gives you a +2 bonus to learn a spell. If you do so by transcribing the spell into the grimoire, if you use the grimoire during your daily preparations, you are capable of preparing spells of the appropriate level. The grimoire's nature leaks into your mind, allowing you to prepare an additional first-level spell slot. And because it's a greater tome, it allows you to prepare an additional third-level spell slot instead.
Uh-huh. I mean, I don't cast normal spells, so...
Don't you have innate spells?
I have Detect Magic as an innate, yeah. It's a cantrip, I don't have leveled spells.
Ah, dang. Oh well.
To be fair, though, this gives me the ability to potentially use a level spell.
That's true.
If it has any already transcribed into it.
But yeah, you have a greater tome of endlessness. Or a greater endless tome, whichever is easier to write.
Yep. Okay. I thought this would be a little more evil, but it's actually probably really valuable when you think about it. Okay.
Is that all you're gonna do before heading to bed?
Yeah, probably. Just, be with my little wisp.
All right. Your wisp sings you a song softly to sleep.
There.
The song of wah, 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 wah.
Or whatever I want it to be in the moment.
Or whatever you want it to be in the moment. You change it to the water elemental and just have it sing the songs of rain on a tin roof.
That is actually a really good idea. Or I mean, because just the vibe music.
The sound of an ocean wave, just
Wisp equal white noise machine.
pretty much.
Yep.
Rari,
Yep.
is there anything you would like to do before you go to bed for the night?
Rari is probably going to. There is adequate light in the room, right?
Yeah, you have candles and a small hearth of a fireplace.
Rari would like to open the grimoire that he has in his possession.
You undo the latch of this thick grimoire that you also happen to have had taken from the vault. And you open up to the first... Do you open up to, the middle or, the first page?
First page.
First page. Let's pull up what this says. I have to go into notes for this.
Ooh.
Once it loads up, please.
One page of lore, if you would.
Oh yeah, does the Endless Grimoire have any spells already scribed into it?
That's a good question. Let's find out while this loads up. Yes, it does. It has 5.
Okay.
They're all lower level spells, but as you go through them,
Well, yeah. Spells are those.
as you go through them, one spell is called Caustic Blast. Another spell is called Air Bubble. The third spell is called Benediction. The fourth spell is Detect Poison. And then the last spell is Forced Mercy.
Hey.
You got all that?
Yep.
Cool. Rari.
Mm-hmm.
You open up to the first page.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads as thus.
It's thus.
It's sus.
Imposter.
Imposter. Amogus.
Oh no.
But it reads as thus. Here lies the journal of Ezekiel Fireshin, the High Magistrate of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth the Elegant of the 12th Elvish Court.
Here lies the journal of Ezekiel Fire.
Now, I mean, that begs the question, is it written in common?
It is written in common.
Could you send the copy paste of that text?
Later, because there is more.
Oh yeah, no. The full transcript later of that page. But he reads on
Ezekiel
intently.
Fireshin.
Fireshin.
I'm assuming you move on to the next page.
And his role was mage.
He was the High Magistrate of the 12th Elvish Court.
High Magistrate of the 12th Elvish Court. Yep. And after noting those details down, he will turn to the next page.
Next page.
Mm-hmm.
Next page. This journal is hereby being used to transcribe the proceedings of a development that I am trying to discover. This development, if used properly, will have great value to the Queen and her kingdom. I will start my trials next week after all preparations have been made.
Rari is very curious and will press to the third page.
Day 1, Trial 1. I've made the fantastical discovery of an outside world, far beyond our own. And in fact, it molds out the universe around it. Should it be lost to this quest into the unknown, please archive this journal for who knows what benefits this realm, the beyond our own, may grant us. Day 1, Trial 2. There have been minor issues reaching the other side, I've decided to call it. Until next time, wish me luck. High Magistrate.
After reading this, Rari's kind of a little bit, like, discombobulated with it. It's like, okay, we have a magistrate, a name, an other side, and then Rari's thoughts are like, okay, so there's a researcher, there's reincarnation, and okay, maybe it's time to sleep, just to clear my head, and maybe nothing crazy happens when I sleep. So he's gonna close the grimoire for now and make a mental note to keep reading as it goes on, trying to put dots and connect dots and make inferences to the text.
So you close the grimoire, and as you close it, I need you to make a basic flat roll on a d20 for me, please.
On what exactly?
On a d20.
I know it's a flat roll. No specific thing, it's just a flat
just roll a d20.
That is a 16.
As you close the book and set it aside, you maintain that mental note to look into it deeper in the morning. And you drift off to sleep peacefully. As you all sleep through the night, And for those of you who can't sleep, you stand in a corner Blair Witching. The tavern keeper will close his doors and also go to bed for the night. He bids the tree Blair Witching in a corner good night. But soon enough, faster than one would hope, morning arrives. The dawn breaks. The noises of a dwarven city. The early tradesmen rising to get their work done. Wakes the lot of you that actually sleep. Truly sleep. Cyrus
Nice.
and Rari,
Yep.
you are going to be the first ones to wake up.
Of course.
As you do, the smell of a very hearty breakfast starts making its way through this tavern.
Rari's eyes kind of flutter open at the smell. Oh, good choice, Cyrus. I haven't had this kind of treatment in a while. Well, I've had the dumpster, but that's besides the point. I get to try it fresh.
Is Rari like yelling this in his room? Like, can someone hear this through the walls?
I'm not being subtle at all, but
Yeah, so basically Rari has run out of his room, damn
And
near
he's
kick down
cheering.
yours and just be like, Cyrus, you made a good decision!
I get to try it fresh and not in the trash this time. Hurry!
Cyrus is not rushing.
So, Rari, you are going to be the first one downstairs because most other people are still asleep at this point. I'm assuming you're going to want to try some of this breakfast stew.
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to be 4 silver.
Rory's going to pay, eagerly awaiting a meal.
So, you know, like how your typical rice bowl is about the size of like a small tea plate?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how a dinner plate is about twice that size?
Yeah.
Add a little bit more onto that. That's the size of a bowl you're getting.
Rory is happy either way.
And it is warm, it smells excellent, and it looks very thick.
Oh, Rory is definitely eager to take a spoonful. He might not even have the patience to wait for the spoonful that he's gonna raise to cool before he takes a sip or a bite.
Make a fortitude save.
Why would you tempt that?
Rari has lived in squalor most his life. He is gonna chance it. And that is a fortitude save, 29.
29, nice. You take the first spoon. Nom! You... Let's see, you succeeded, so the benefit you get is a D4 bonus to something. Okay. You get a +3 bonus to your HP maximum today.
Ooh, bad.
For the next 24 hours, your HP and HP maximum is increased by 3.
Oh. All the better. Oh. This is delicious.
Donnie, now, as like Rari is about halfway done with his bowl because he's just eating so quickly, your character, Cyrus, would basically be making his way to the bottom of the stairs at this point.
Yeah.
Would you like to also order a bowl of this stuff?
Sure.
All right, that'll be 4 silver.
Okay.
You pay the 4 silver, and you also get a very large bowl of breakfast stew.
It's Rory kind of between bites, out of breath. It's so good. I'm glad you got a bowl.
And as you go to take your first bite, Cyrus, I also need you to make a con save as well. Or not con, fortitude, damn it.
Yeah. Natural 20. So,
Oh, great.
34.
Well, you critical succeed, so... you just get the max die. You get an additional 4 to your HP and max HP for the next 24 hours.
It's always nice.
Duzon, this is the point where you and Little Flame would start to come out of stasis. Stasis. I'm just gonna call it stasis.
To stop Blair witching in the corner.
Yeah, this is where you would
Okay.
stop Blair witching in the corner.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna go meet up with where Rari and Cyrus are.
Duzon,
Yes.
how goes it? I know the sun isn't exactly present yet, but
I will survive.
I did a little reading today. Well, last night. It was interesting what I learned thus far.
Which is?
Well, I appeared to be learning a bit of elvish culture. The good kinds of elves, I think. Maybe.
We may all hope.
Some high officials, their names and such, but I'm gonna have to read more on it. It might just help us out in the end.
How so?
Well, any information of anything to thwart that mage is good information, I would say.
Yes.
But
Do you
again,
know what type of mage he is? Not every mage is good-natured.
well, again, I only know a little. I only just started reading. But I'll let you guys know if anything comes about.
And it reads in common?
It does.
It seems a little weird for a mage, an elven mage, to write in common, not elven.
Well, maybe like a good, maybe they wanted their findings to be replicated somehow, or
You do recall from what little bit you read last night about something him putting it into the archives.
he did say something about the author of the book. He said something about putting into the. Can you repeat that last part? Into the archives.
That was the end of the sentence. Into
Yeah.
the archives.
He said that he would put this information into the archives. Although, again, I would have to press further to figure out exactly what information would be archived. Probably the book itself, perhaps, but
And what archive?
that's the mystery, isn't it? I can almost sense a familiarity with mysteries, or at least from our former traveling companion. I guess now I'm starting to understand the eagerness of a mystery or two. One, the dagger, and two, this. Well, and third, maybe the reincarnation bit.
I feel like the reincarnation bit would be the greater mystery that's in your wheelhouse.
Honestly, I just want to explore it and see kind of where it goes. But yeah, I do want answers to that. I don't really know much about it outside of the goddess of rot telling me things. That, surprise, I'm a reincarnate. And that's not really, like, he finishes up his bowl, not really normal, or not really something I understand well. So, I guess, like, in immediate priorities, going to a place of worship for this particular god would be a good start for me to, well, mend my ways. So, as it were, or at least understand what exactly the trial is.
Well, maybe my family could help you with the reincarnation mystery. My grandmother's very skilled in ritual magics, and my father, well, he specializes in death magic.
Ooh. Well,
Not in the bad way. He likes to help those who have lost someone important to them. Give them comfort, closure.
a sort of soothsayer, you would say?
I'd say a medium.
Oh.
He's very good with spirits. Of the departed.
Ooh. Well, that might be troublesome for me. But, yeah, regardless, where to, though? There's plenty to explore in this city, I'm sure.
This is also a port town, so if you guys want to ferry a ride to somewhere across the seas, that is also possible.
Well, do let me know if you peruse that tome, that journal. I might be able to help you translate anything that comes up.
Yeah, if there's anything encrypted, I'll be sure to let you know.
Well, that and I speak Elvish.
True. I speak Sylvan and, well, Draconic. But... Duzon. Are you there, Duzon?
Come again?
Blair witching in the corner still.
Are
The
you
lack
sure?
of sunlight is getting to me. Don't worry about me.
Well, so here are our options. We could explore more the mysteries of the Dwarvish dagger that I have. We could go across the sea if we need to. Or we could explore the city more. The information I possess, if we allow ourselves some time, I could make a decent dent in the book. But first, and of course, explore my possible past life.
Learning of this should be a pastime. We need to train ourselves and find this mage.
I sure hope the information that I have is useful to that end. Maybe it is.
It
But
must be.
if anything, it might lead us to a mage to rival his power, and that could be a good thing.
Yes, very much so.
But of course, I'll let you know. And of course, we have those attuned to magic, so we can put our thinking caps on. But yes, training.
Well, you
So,
also assume that the mage who wrote that journal is alive.
Well, let's be more on the hopeful side. I mean, if he's powerful enough to write all of this, and I'm sure it would be very difficult, I would imagine, kill them. I mean, what?
Great optimism,
think-
but then why was his journal in a dwarvish vault?
I don't know. Shoot. Things end up in
Right,
vaults
that
for all
makes
sort of
sense.
reasons.
Elves usually do not give their personal belongings to dwarves.
Well,
Point being exactly. It's already strange enough that it's not in its archive.
Rari would like to make an underworld lore check to see if he would know of any dwarvish thieves that might be oh so great at stealing from the elves.
Yeah, you could definitely try and recall knowledge for that using your underworld knowledge.
All right. Alright. That is a 26.
Unfortunately, that does not quite give you anything, mainly because you've never really been to the dwarvish territories before.
Right.
The most that you could possibly think of was the one dwarvish ring, spy master of the black market in the elvish territories, but that's the most that'll come to your mind.
Not really familiar with people of my persuasion that would exist around here. There is someone in the Elvish Kingdom that might just have repossessed this particular item. But I could not go back there. Things were hairy, to say the least. And for a kobold, that is not good. So, make that what you will.
Very well.
So, I would probably want to go and talk to a clergyman, if anything, to help me set up this here dagger. And he gestures to Satchel where his dagger. Where the dagger, unless it's in Duzon's inventory.
I'm assuming Duzon gave it back to you when the dwarf
Right.
handed it to him.
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. So, let's go there first before we set out for training and exploring the mysteries that lie. If it's okay with you guys.
That's fine. I don't mind exploring the city while you do that.
Say, Duzon, do you mind accompanying me to their place of worship? I don't want to have another one of those encounters.
I will.
Thank you.
Duzon, as this conversation is going on, you kind of notice that little flame is kind of back at a torch, like inching his finger closer and closer towards the torch.
Oh no.
No.
He kind of just like jolts back, like I wasn't doing anything. I don't know what you're talking. I didn't.
He's like, oh, I'm cute. You know I wouldn't do anything.
I give him
like
the
that.
Duzon stank face.
The Duzon stank face is. He's like, he kind of just like bows his head, like, okay, I'm sorry.
Come along. And keep your hands to yourself.
Mumbles in Firish.
Crackles.
Yeah, crackles, snaps, hisses.
Even if I could translate, it'd be a very rough translation.
It's just a stream of obscenities.
No, it's more. Well, you gotta keep in mind, this is a fresh being. This is like a being that's only like less than a
freshly
week
lit.
old.
Yeah, they're more so throwing a child tantrum.
Yeah, they're like,
Or a
but I
pout.
wanna.
Let me burn at least one thing.
Let me consume the fire. Come on, Dad. It's not that much.
No.
Only a little bit of fire.
Does he need like a stick or something for fuel? Because I can make a stick.
No. By technicality, he only needs sunlight, but because he's literally an elemental, he can also consume elements that are fire.
Or able to be burned.
Or able to be burned, but he would have to set them on fire first.
Well, I'll leave him pout for now, because angry elemental is not one you want to deal with. Especially fire. That can get very destructive very quickly.
So, what are you guys planning to do?
So, Rari is gonna probably seek out the temple in which the dwarves would congregate to see if he could figure out this dagger and its purpose.
Okay.
Or at least where to go. And he's asking Duzon to follow him, so as to not trigger another one of those dialogues from last night.
Well, the only reason that happened is because you're wearing a
Thieves' clothes.
cloak
Or at least,
from the Guild of Thieves.
right.
And he is a guard, so obviously
Right.
he knows what that would look like.
Yeah, but he's also like, I don't know how those folks are gonna receive me, knowing what I am wearing. He's not
Maybe
gonna
just
take the
don't wear
chance.
that.
Or maybe, yeah.
You can just take your thieving cloak off.
I will take the cloak off just to be more low key, I guess. Although Rari is going to feel a bit naked without it.
Alright, you You take your cloak off and you fold it out very nicely and then put it in your satchel.
This is a feeling I don't feel all too great in. But if we're gonna go there, it's best not to raise alarms, right?
More than you did at the gate?
He just gives Cyrus a look. Yes, even though I didn't do anything.
You were wearing the cloak of the Guild of Thieves, my guy. That's enough.
Yeah. I know, but Rari's just like, I didn't steal anything.
From these people
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the deal? I haven't wronged them yet. If it struck his fancy, he might, but not yet.
Yeah, but you understand why he was suspicious
Yeah, oh
of
no, absolutely.
somebody who had a dwarven artifact who also just so happened to be wearing a cloak from the Thieves Guild.
It's not the best look. And Rari
It is a
knows that.
horrible look. It is a 1 + 2 = 3 situation.
Yeah, but then again, Rari's like, technically, I didn't steal this, and I didn't do anything wrong to them. But, understandably, he understands their apprehension at a thief.
But yeah, so you're gonna try and make your way to a dwarven temple?
Yeah. Hopefully, seeking out the god that is, or the worshippers of the god inscribed on the knife.
Alright. Unfortunately, this town does not have a specific chapel.
So it's more like a general worship area.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't have any dedicated chapel to any dedicated god.
Okay.
It's more like just a general worship area where you can go get repentance, get worship, get forgiveness, stuff like that.
Right. Okay. In any case, Rari would probably still go, just hoping that there is at least a representative of the Dorvish gods, like a cleric or a priest of some kind, that can maybe assist him in the endeavor.
Did I end up giving you the name of this dagger?
Yes, it is called Sky Sunder.
Thank you.
Yeah, while they go to the worship areas, I was just gonna kind of wander around town, explore a little.
Are you looking for anything specific?
Not specifically. Maybe window shop here or there, but unless something really catches his eye.
Okay, we'll get to you later then. So you're having Duzon lead you to this place, correct?
Yeah, Duzon and I are basically traveling together.
Alright, since Duzon is leading the way and he is way more familiar with Dwarvish towns, I'm gonna have him roll perception.
Okay. That is a 17.
Alright. You kind of walk around for a bit, and the telltale signs of where the faithful gather and where the faithful serve are kind of pointing in one direction or another. And you make your way to one of the few smaller, like, temples in the area.
Okay.
Hmm. You think anyone would be available, Duzon?
Let us find out.
And then so I guess I gently knock on the door.
You gently knock on the door.
Oh no.
Okay.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Duzon indoors.
You knock so lightly that nobody hears you.
Oh no.
Overcompensating.
Maybe Rari should knock.
I knock again, a little harder.
A little harder? Just a little harder?
Just a little.
Instead of
almost hot, Mikey.
you're like, instead of a fist, you just like tap with a finger and just like knock, knock,
Nice.
knock by tapping your finger instead of your whole fist.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Good.
I've made Peter so paranoid about opening doors now.
I mean, to be fair, he literally walked through an iron vault door. I would be paranoid about walking through normal doors too.
Likewise.
SpongeBob through a door.
If I could SpongeBob through solid metal door, I'd be very wary of every other door in existence at that point, except a magically sealed one.
But yeah, after like a minute, a dwarf in like a parish outfit just kind of opens the door. Oh, hello. I'm assuming you're not the one that needs guidance, he says to you, Duzon.
You assume correct.
Then are you doing the guiding of a lost soul? May I, he kind of turns to the kobold. Lost soul, indeed.
If that's what the case may be, I was hoping you could help.
Oh, well, of course. We are always here to help at the parish. What can I help you with?
He motions to Rari to explain his situation.
Well, there are some bids that say that I need to turn from, and he carefully brandishes Sky Sunder, keeping it flat on his hands. And supposedly, according to Duzon and others, there is an oath of some sort. And maybe, I don't know, really, I'm new to the whole idea of worship, but maybe this making a oath to, he gestures to the deity here, could possibly help me understand what that might take.
The parisher kind of takes the blade from your hand, going over it with his fingers. This is a dagger crafted by one of the dwarven gods of Forge himself. There is, he kind of says, turning the blade in his hand, a rite one has to go through in order to properly wield this weapon. Are you determined to take that rite?
What does this rite entail? Do you know more about it?
I do.
What is this rite?
It is known in your tongue as the rite of reparation.
In other words,
Repentance.
to make things right.
Repentance, to make things right. To undo the wrongs you've done.
Then that's perfect. So then, yes. What do I need to do to begin?
The rite is going to take about 2 hours to accomplish. You are going to need rare incense, offerings, or other some kind of charitable donation that you rightfully own. Rightfully.
Ooh. Okay. So I need to get incense. Rari, takes a moment to think.
The value of these must be at least 35 gold.
The value must be about or exactly 35 gold?
Exactly. At least. At the very
Or at
minimum.
least. Rari needs to... What do I possess that could possibly be worth 35 gold? I gave away much.
Lastly, the thing you'll need to sacrifice for this ritual to be complete is the magic of up to 4 casters.
I'm sorry, repeat that again? You sounded robotic to me. It might be my headset.
Magic of 4 casters.
Yeah, he says
The
you need to
magic of-
sacrifice the magic of 4 casters, up to 4 casters.
So, masters must be in this to help.
Myself, I'm not a very well trained caster, but I do work in the name of the gods, and a few of the others here have received very minor boons of magic. They will be willing to help you.
Alright, so I need, and then he just clarifies, at least 35 gold of an object or objects that are worth that much. And then I need to acquire incense. And then bring 4 mages to assist me in the ritual.
Lastly, while you are doing this rite, you need to swear an oath to the blade. You need to swear an oath to protect, recover, and restore the culture of the dwarvish people. Should you break that oath, the dagger will break its bond with you.
And I assume the consequence would be most dangerous.
Not necessarily. If you simply fail instead of actively harm, the dagger will no longer be bonded to you, and most likely seek out someone more suited to take up the bond. However, if you were to take this oath and then actively harm, or do something that leads to active harm towards the dwarvish culture and society, you you will have reparations to pay.
All right. So then it begins. We need to find 4 mages, obtain incense, and make sure I have legitimately obtained resources. At least 35 gold. Does it matter if they're personally significant to me, or...
The parisher shakes his head. So long as they are personally owned and legitimately owned.
Okay, then. That shouldn't be all too hard to do. Maybe the mage part might be a little hard to do.
Like I said, we have a few people blessed with minor magics that'll be willing to help you take on the challenge of the rite. The challenge of the oath. We do not judge one by the content of their ancestry. If you, as a kobold, wish to take on the oath of the dwarvish protection, so be it.
I'll do whatever it takes to right my wrongs. Well, outside of steel. Unless somehow that, in some weird way, makes things right somehow. But I doubt that.
Well then, it seems you made up your mind.
Alright. Time to obtain the resources. Alright, Duzon, I think we need to go shopping.
For what?
Anything, as long as it's about 35 gold's worth. Unless, of course, I have things that are about 35 gold's worth. But I think most of my equipment is rather cheap.
Makes sense. Come. Let's go find a shop of artifacts.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
meanwhile, on the other side of town, you come across
I am trained in society, so I shouldn't get lost easily.
No, you're not getting lost. I'm just rolling to see what interesting things you find. You come across a distillery. A dwarven distillery.
Of which there are many.
Of which there are many, but this is one of the many.
There are many like it, but this one is this one.
Yep. This one is called Iron Brew Distills. It has it in both common and dwarvish. Would you like to go inside or move on?
Probably just gonna move on.
Alright.
Not a big alcohol drinker.
end up finding what is essentially their general store. One of a few couple different general stores with like raw materials, rope, sacks, bags, minor magic items, minor healing potions, stuff like that, rations, survival gear, stuff like that.
Huh. Might walk in and buy like 1 or 2 healing potions because I don't have any. Maybe if they have like a familiar satchel or something that my little buddy can ride in.
They definitely have a satchel that you could just have your familiar ride in. The satchel will be it's just a regular, like, non-magical satchel, so... yeah, here we go. Familiar satchel. 5 gold.
Okay. He doesn't need to, because he doesn't need to eat, but he does need something that is both waterproof and fireproof.
This armored case is made to
Potentially.
protect any tiny or smaller creature contained within it. It includes air holes, which can be plugged with core stoppers for underwater travel, and 2 receptacles for food and water. Any creature inside has neither line of sight nor line of effect to the outside world, but also cannot be targeted by attacks that require a line of effect while within the satchel. However, an area of effect that deals enough damage to break the case also damages the creature inside of it.
Sounds about right.
The satchel is made of leather with a hardness of 4, 16 HP, and a breaking point of 8. A creature can enter or exit the satchel by using a total of 2 actions, an interact action to open the satchel, and another interact action to close the satchel.
Fair enough.
Let me send you this link.
I guess I'll buy one of those, and they had like two minor healing potions.
Yeah, they do. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
There you go. And then you're gonna get 2 minor healing potions.
Yep.
That'll be 8 gold.
Okay. 5 gold for the satchel, 8 for the potion. Okay. I think he'll be all done there.
All right. Rari and Duzon. Eventually, you guys make your way to the shopping district that Cyrus is in, meeting up with them. What do you guys do now that your party is fully back together?
Well, I'll inform Cyrus of what the clergy, the priest said. So, I talked to one of the priests at one of the temples. apparently the rite that I have to undergo needs 35 gold's worth of stuff that I obtained properly. Purchased, in other words. Or was gifted. But I don't know exactly what to get for it. Nothing in my bag is really super ultra expensive. And so we're shopping for that. And then I need to find out if I could get 4 or so casters to come along with us to help initiate the ritual.
Well, the clergy there should have enough casters. If they even suggested doing a ritual there. So I don't think you should worry about that.
Sometimes Rob is so
Well,
stupid.
the one priest in particular I talked to is limited in his magical capabilities. So it stands to reason that maybe other clerics or priests of that nature exist at least in this particular temple. So if I had to, I'd have to go somewhere else or procure 4 mages.
Right, well, rituals do have some flexibility. As long as they can cast spells properly, the ritual should accept them, provided that they are of the correct magic persuasion to do so.
And that's what worries me, as I'm not very learned in these things. I don't know. I mean, if a caster, say, is not particularly strong, and they're casting a ritual on a divine sort of weapon or religious artifact, I don't know what kind of consequences that might entail if they're not strong enough to sustain the ritual. I mean, granted, I know what happens when you're not strong enough or agile enough to run from people or traps, splat, or, you get a 6-foot deep hole.
Well, something to bear in mind about rituals. They take time cast, so it's usually quite hard to mess it up when everyone's on the same page. You don't truly need to be worried about lacking magic power. It's more about lacking focus, if that is the issue.
Maybe, but I don't know. Is it different for divine artifacts, or is this just true of every ritual?
I'd say it depends on the god in question. In my opinion. Every god has their own rituals, every god has their preferred mediums. It's not like, say, a wizard's magic where any wizard could just join in.
That's why I'm like, don't stop. He's the one.
Provided they know what they're doing.
Because, like, in game, they haven't slept in, like, 2 days.
In this case, you just need people of sufficient faith, preferably on the same page. Not people, say, doing the same ritual for one god, but having someone of the exact opposite god's persuasion.
Well, I think that would make sense if the gods are enemies or opposed to each other.
Yes.
That would
For
make
example,
sense.
For example, Goddess of Rot. You wouldn't want someone who worships the god of birth performing a ritual with them. They're different sides of a coin.
Mm-hmm. So in any
But
case,
I'm not the ritual expert.
I need to find something or a group of some things that are costing somewhere around 35 or higher in gold.
Jewelry,
You wanna know
magical
the funny
components.
thing is? He's doing this whole big search, but I'm pretty sure
Well,
he has
we are in
healing potions, just
dwarvish
like
territory, so I'm
potions
sure there's no shortage of at
inventory,
least
which costs
jewelry. I don't necessarily know about magical components, nor would I have a good eye in discerning their worth.
He has like 1,000 gold on him at all
Their
times.
real worth, at least. After all, shops have to make profit somehow. They
It's
can't
because
just sell it at the
you have
fair
legitimate
value of the item,
All of that gold is stolen.
unless they wish to
It's
go
not
broke
legitimately
overnight.
his. So if he tries to use,
True enough.
yeah, he bought those from a store.
And the last thing I would want is to have the ritual go wrong because I had inadequate supplies. And I also need to come across
Well-
some incense.
The ritual won't even work if you have inadequate supplies.
True.
It won't even start.
That's fine. They can overthink it.
Oh, really? Well, that gives me at least a little hope on the
This is
material
not,
part.
You have people
But
who have
I would at least
Ritual
like...
magic
who
is
are
both
willing
specific
to help.
and non-specific at the exact same time.
They're just not willing to give you a small fortune of gold.
So, I guess the easiest thing to find right now would be incense. Burning the incense and such during the ritual is required, I presume.
Yeah.
And
If that's what the
then
priest told you is.
the items. But still, the quantity of casters is at least 4, I believe.
Which, again, the temple
Should provide.
should be able to provide.
If not, we
Otherwise,
need
they
to
wouldn't-
find
They
stronger
wouldn't have
magic.
suggested. They wouldn't have suggested it if they had insufficient people,
Thank you, Donnie.
or they would have directly told you that you need to bring
He's like,
someone.
the people there with magic should be
I
able to
believe
provide.
the
They wouldn't have
priest did
suggested it if they
indicate
couldn't.
that I need to bring a few.
It's only
Is
like
that
I
my?
said it
Is that
fucking
correct, Donovan?
twice.
Out of character,
John?
from what I remember,
I'm not.
he said that there should be enough people inside the parish.
Did Donovan say something like that he'll be right back?
No,
Oh,
I'm
no.
still here.
Oh, okay.
Did you need me for something?
So, yes.
Double checking information about what the priest said.
Okay.
So the priest said that I would likely need to bring casters, or did he say that that among the priests that are within the temple, there's enough to begin the ritual once I have all that is required?
He said you will need at least 4 casters for up to, at most, 4 casters to help guide the ritual along, and that there are a number of individuals at the parishry that have been blessed with minor magic that are willing to help.
Okay. So there may be a few people at the parish that are willing to lend assistance, but truly, I would still need to bring some. I would think. I'm not exactly sure of the quantity of how many parishioners are capable of such things, so
If there's enough, then there's enough.
count it as insurance, at least better safe than sorry.
Well, I'm afraid you're coming to the wrong person for divine magic assistance.
True.
Though, him on the other hand, he's gonna look at Duzon, would probably be your better bet.
How well you worship a god yourself?
To find a Major Borealis here wouldn't need us to hike all the way back to the coast.
which would be too far. But what I think Cyrus is implying is that you would be assisting in this rite with me.
It could be sufficient enough. You're of the correct magic persuasion for the ritual anyway.
That is true. Out of character, that is true. I do have spells.
And your spells
Fair
are
enough.
divine in
Yeah.
nature.
Very well.
So, if there are 3 others in the parish, then we have all that we need for that. So truly, then it's just a matter of getting the incense and an object that are worth 35 gold. I think jewelry would more than suffice, but I want to, of course, seek out probably the best kinds of jewelry making. After all, given the architecture here, would be very
Careful what you
important.
wish for. Meaning, jewelry in a dwarven city. Dwarves are masters of metalwork and jewel work. It's going to be expensive regardless.
If it's worth 35 gold, a
Minimum.
pedal will suffice.
Right. Minimum is 35 gold. If it's more than that, then by all means, I should hopefully have enough. So that wouldn't really be an object or issue.
Just
But
saying,
now,
know what you're looking for.
So where is the nearest jeweler or stalls of jewelers? Duzon, you know layout like this better than I.
We need to go to an area with the most activity. Which most activity means it's a market. The market is where you'll find the jewelers.
That or the upper echelon.
Correct.
Let's start at the markets, and if not there, then we'll go to the higher dwarf society.
Yes, let us move.
My voice is getting higher and I don't like it. It's fine.
Oh,
Hydration.
Peter.
That's true. Hydration. I'm gonna go grab some water, actually. Thank you.
Or just inhales carbon,
Hydrate check.
gaseous carbon will deepen the voice, except it's probably very dangerous to your lungs.
What?
Like gaseous forms of like concentrated like carbon. It's like what was the gas?
The most
It's
you
like
want to do
helium
is
makes it
like the
sweet.
most you want to do is inhale sulfur hexafluoride because that's already like 8 times more dense than helium. Or no, not even helium.
Yeah.
8 times more dense than oxygen.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like
It won't
gases
kill
that
you.
deepen your voice.
Because I remember this one time, this person inhaled something that was like 16 times more dense than oxygen, and they couldn't get it out of their lungs.
So then what happened? I'm sure the consequences aren't that good medically.
I don't
Speaking.
know what happened. It kind of the clip kind of cut off when they realized they couldn't breathe out this gas.
Anywho, jewelry shopping.
Anywho, jewelry
I'm back.
shopping.
Anyway, jewelry shopping.
Meanwhile, at the jewelry store. One ring, please. 35 gold. Deal.
And you were worried that it was gonna be expensive.
But yeah, you go into the jeweler shop and you kind of just, do you have any gems on you, or are you just gonna straight up buy a ring?
Hmm?
Do you have any gems on you that you want to be made into jewelry, or are you just gonna buy it straight up?
I gave my gems away to the teleporting merchant.
You mean you sold your gems? Because you definitely
Yeah,
didn't give
I
them
sold
away.
them. I didn't give them away, but you know what I mean.
Do I? Do I really?
I would hope so, but yeah, no. I don't have any gems on me anymore.
I do, but it's way too expensive. Out of character. That's out of character. I have that star sapphire that's worth like 1,000 something gold
Yeah.
or more, and that's way too expensive.
This would be a good place to sell that if you want to.
I could find better.
Fair enough.
Probably, maybe. Because, like, higher district could sell that for more.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. So I'd probably, I would buy a ring off the rip if the ring is within that price range of 35 and above, which probably it is.
Yeah, if you're just buying a ring, like, straight up, no added material bonus, that's gonna be full price. The cheapest possible ring at full price at this place, in this city,
Not being a dwarf.
and especially you not being a dwarf, yes,
Mhm.
is probably gonna be 160 gold.
Well, fortunately, I have a lot of gold on hand.
And you pretty much just watch someone buy something probably about the same quality for not even a fraction of the price.
Fair enough. How much for this ring?
He looks at the ring, he looks at you, he looks at the ring. Alright, that'll be about 160 gold there, bud.
He hands him the gold. That should just about do.
A semi-Canadian dwarf?
Hey there, bud, that's a good deal there. You should get that ring there, bud.
160 gold there, bud.
160 gold there, bud.
Can I see if Rari is being swindled?
You don't even need to roll. This thing should be like 60 gold cheaper.
I'm just gonna nudge Rari with my leg so the shopkeeper doesn't see that I've caught on.
It's kind of too late. The shopkeeper has already taken the gold and given Rari the
Ow.
ring.
Yeah.
Duzon's gonna look at Cyrus and be like, don't do that.
What do you want, Cyrus? I got what I needed.
Let's take this outside.
We are literally inside everywhere.
He has a point.
Metaphorically.
You leave the store.
I look at the jeweler and I go,
Thank you.
Or her.
And
He kind of just nods and says, come back anytime there, bud.
and I walk out with the other two.
Canadian dwarf.
So what?
Once we get out of earshot of the shopkeeper, you just got played.
I suppose that's fitting for me.
That
But
ring could have easily sold for less than half the price that you bought it for.
In no way in the heavens would that be possible here.
Unless, again, you know what you're looking
Dwarves
for.
take their pride in both their jewels. Dwarves pride themselves in their jewels, but also their craftsmanship.
And they appreciate those with the eye for the crafts.
Try to heckle with their prices. It is highly insulting.
nor am I in a position really.
Believe me, that is one
Unless-
of their cheaper, more modest deals. You should be happy you took it.
And believe me, even if I did, lose out on a little bit of money. Money can be replenished. I believe
He's
this
a
dagger
local
to be priceless. So,
We
What's
call
a
that a
little
foreign traveler's tax, friends and
sacrifice?
family.
The,
Sorry, were you still saying
Please.
something, Rory?
These are two.
Go ahead.
Heckling in dwarven culture is frowned upon. If you are unsatisfied with the price, leave it.
Yeah, typically in Dwarven culture, you really only have the power to bargain if you are also bringing something to the table, whether that is materials or physical labor.
To which Rari is not exactly the best with physical labor. But Rari is definitely, if he had kept his gems, he would have offered those up, but he did not.
Cyrus is a human, right?
Cyrus?
Hello?
Yes, and
Okay.
outside of character,
He
yes,
goes-
and
Yeah, he. So Duzon says,
In a human economy, you're correct.
In a human society, I would probably be more inclined for reimbursement or at least a haggle. But I'm not familiar with Dwarven customs. And besides, the ring fits the requirement.
Besides, returns are also very insulting.
All I'm saying is you got profiled.
I got
Yes.
profiled at the gates.
It's a merchant's trick to get more money out of people.
Understandably. Look, I'm not one to hustle. I'm not one to judge for getting a little extra coin here and there. I would do the same if I was in his shoes. But I'm not exactly a smith. So, be it as it may. A
I'm
small
not a smith
price,
either, but I know my jewelry.
We have our own,
then
and I
What
know
is-
dwarves. Now let's move.
we can talk about the true price of this ring later. I need to find incense. A rare one.
so are we in like a market type environment or just like this building happened to be a jeweler?
It's more so that this building just so happened to be a jeweler store.
Okay, so
Rare incense, magic item shop.
now, I gotta figure out how to. Yeah, we could look for one of those.
If you're looking for rare incense. Because you got normal
We do
incense,
need
and then
rare
there's
incense.
cheap incense. There's cheap incense, and then there's incense, which is suitable
That's
for
true.
casting.
You're looking for ritual grade incense.
Yeah.
May I roll? May I roll perception for something that looks like a magic shop?
I mean, I could also just ping detect magics.
I mean, whichever you want to do sounds good to me.
I got a 24 on perception.
You kind of start walking around and catch the scent of burning incense on your leaves or however else you smell, Duzon?
I can.
You can hear the cries of the planes being used.
Smell.
I always thought you can hear the cries of the
You
planes
hear
being
the
burned.
cries of
The burning incense. You just hear.
all you hear are screams.
You could just hear the screams of the planes being used for the
Oh
incense.
my gosh.
That's some.
That'd be
By the
tragic.
gods of by the gods of nature.
That's some little inferno type shit.
That is some real.
Are we taking that as canon now?
Yeah.
It's like, oh gosh.
Oh my.
No.
The children.
Jimmy.
Why
Like-
the children?
Let's all right. Let the beautiful scent calm your mind.
I love the way my mind works sometimes.
Duzon,
The
just like
machinations of my mind are an enigma.
It's like we're walking around and then Duzon just hears.
No.
It's okay. Whatever plants were a part of the incense have been ground up and dried up long ago.
So
Yeah, it just smells
the
like
spirits of the
burning
planes.
It's screaming.
So it's the spirits of the planes screaming.
Yeah.
my body, my beautiful body.
Ground
It's
up,
like they're all of a sudden they're
dried.
just walking through the city, and all of a sudden Duzon just like
Like
stops,
freezes in
looks
his
to a
tracks.
direction, and he goes,
Follow me.
yeah, like freezes, like turns like 87 degrees right, and he goes,
Follow me.
and he begins like advancing towards the location.
Very well. Lead the way.
It's like, Duzon, how could you tell where it was so fast?
I can hear their screams.
I mean, that might be a legitimate question. It's like, how did you smell the incense from this far away?
Their screams.
I can hear their screams as they burn.
I can hear their screams as they burn.
morbid.
No plants were actually harmed in the making of this episode.
I can hear.
It's like
Except the potato I'm
traumatized,
eating.
but keeping it together.
I can hear them. I can hear their screams as they burn.
Out of character side note, there is a potato being harmed at this very moment because I'm eating french fries.
How could you?
Anyway, plant burning
That was
aside,
funny. Go on.
you guys make your way to this incense, magic, and other things shop. They also have weed growing there.
Ooh. We love weed.
The weed turns to you and is like, solid.
Duzon ignores it. Well, actually, no, he
Duzon
goes.
ignores the weed.
Duzon looks to the weed plant and he goes,
Run.
Nah, dude, it's all chill here.
I know.
bud.
I know. I know what they're gonna do to you.
He's talking to the plants.
He's talking to, I know what they're gonna do to you. It's wild.
I know what they're gonna do to you.
You just touch the weed and then you're like, I am sorry.
I'm sorry.
I-
Thor.
If I had the authority to, I would run you out of here and plant you in a field where you'd be free.
Gets eaten by a deer.
I mean, that's just nature.
All better.
That's just the cycle.
I'm finally free.
No, you want to know what that would be the equivalent of?
What?
Those fucking butterfly release videos where they release the butterfly and then it immediately gets eaten.
It's eaten by a fucking bird.
Yeah, by like a bird or something.
This session just gets darker and darker.
Those are the
It's
best.
has spiraled, and
It's
I am
just like,
here for it.
Yup, yup.
Oh no!
Anyway, back to buying the incense.
I can understand plant speak because I know wood elemental language.
So you would also hear the plants burning.
True.
Listen closely.
Wait, actually, wait. I don't hear any.
Oh wait, I actually hear it.
I hear it. Come on,
So
let's go.
Rari,
Yes.
Rari's gonna ask the incense shopkeep, whoever that might be.
Their agony gives you chills, doesn't it?
Meanwhile, in the background, Cyrus and Duzon are like, horrors beyond mention.
No. Dude, Cyrus isn't a nature spirit. Remember, he's just like okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Duzon has heard the screams of the plants, and he's just like,
I am sorry.
to a piece of burning incense.
To a piece of burning incense.
I wish I could assuage your screams.
Not the it
This is
bird.
taking such an interesting turn.
That's so
This is
I kind of
spiraled.
regret bringing you guys to this incense shop.
I mean, to be fair, you needed us to find it.
True. But
I feel like at this point,
I don't
Duzon
think
would
this
just
was
start
on
putting out
Donovan's
the
bingo card
incense.
for Pathfinder.
The screams of 1,000 plants anguished. Mark that off on the bingo cards.
At this point, Duzon has seen enough people like smoking, burning incense, lighting campfires, to the point where any of their screams went from "Oh my God, are you okay?" to
I am sorry.
There's nothing.
I'm sorry, little one.
He's
I'm
just,
sorry, little
he's just
one.
like one step away from nihilism.
Nihilist Duzon.
I'm sorry, little one.
Anyway, if you want to buy the ritual grade incense, a bundle of it is going to cost you 50 gold.
Thank goodness Rari has money. As per requested by... Well, the request was granted by that strange mage, but it turned out to be a great endeavor, because I
Perhaps.
have enough money to afford these things.
And you got a demon attack.
Yeah, and I got a demon attack for free.
And a cloaker attack.
We don't talk about that one. But yes, Rari hands over the gold.
They hand you your giant bundle of incense.
Giant to Rari or just giant in general?
It is half a pound of incense.
That
That's
is
a lot of
incense.
They're not joking around when they say this is ritual grade incense.
Actually, it's probably not surprising for Cyrus to see that.
Yeah, no, you used to have closets full of this shit back at home.
Yeah. And maybe even more expensive.
Probably.
Probably.
All right. I have the incense. I have the ring. And now I just need the mages, which we can now go back to the temple for.
It's not a temple.
Or the chapel.
More specifically, it is a parishery. It is a small parishery where people go and beat parishes.
Parishery.
It
Got
does. It does not have nearly the same amount of funding as a temple or a
Proper church.
proper
Or a monastery even.
Yeah, or like a proper monastery.
All right. So back to the parishery then.
You make your way back. It is now like midday. And you kind of walk up the steps of the parishery and reintroduce yourself to the gentleman that you were talking to, and he kind of says, like, so you're back already?
Yes. Duzon, my friend here, is going to assist in the ritual.
He kind of nods to Duzon.
Yes.
Very well. If you are certain that you can take on this bond, this oath, then please step this way.
I step this way.
As do I.
I will simply observe.
You're going to observe?
Yep.
Okay.
You're not burning the incense right. Your technique
No.
is kind of... no.
And
Not
now they
some general
ritualistically
observations.
sacrifice
No.
Rari.
Oh, dang. That's crazy.
No, they don't.
Surprise! It's a death cult.
Surprise! Alright. They make the preparations, draw the sigil with chalk on the ground, light the incense around it, place you in the center. They clap their hands and spark electricity, Full Metal Alchemist style.
Nice.
Alright, Rari. As this magic is channeled into you, I need you to make a religion check, please.
Okay. $24.
Okay. I also need you to make a second religion check.
$26.
Alright. As this magic is forced into you, and you channel it into this blade, you successfully advance the bond. You take upon you the oath to protect and cultivate Dwarven culture. And you gain access to the minor and major gifts that come with being bonded to this item. As the ritual subsides and the magic fades, you now have a brand on your shoulder that is almost an exact copy of the dagger inside of a almost exact copy of the same circle that you're standing in.
It worked?
So here's the fun things you can do with this dagger now.
Yes.
First let's start with the minor gifts. You
All
can
right.
activate the Deadly Spark effect. You can activate Divine Retribution. And you can activate Word of Faith.
Wow.
As for the major gifts, you can activate Holy Light. And you can activate Propelling Winds.
Wow.
So, Deadly Spark takes 2 actions to do. As a command and interact, a spark flashes out from the relic towards a creature within 20 feet. The spark deals 1d12 electricity damage. The damage increases by 1d12 at 6th level and another 1d12 4 levels after that. So it deals 2d12 electricity damage with a basic reflex
Wow.
save.
Nice.
Divine Retribution is a 2-action command. Upon drawing upon Divine Fury, you single out a target that damaged you or an ally within the past round and fill your relic with Divine Vengeance against them. Make a strike against that foe, dealing an additional damage die on hit. If the target is evil, it is also enfeebled 1 until the end of turn. Or until
Wow.
the start of your next turn on a hit, or enfeebled 2 on a critical hit. And the Divine Retribution strikes made with Sky Sunder gain the Deadly D4 trait.
Ooh. I do like deadly D4s or deadly anything.
Word of Faith is a 2-action command and interact once per hour, placing your hand on yourself or an ally. You heal their wounds and bolster their spirit. Target regains 1d8 per item level and reduces their fighting value by 1. The item level for this item is 4, so it's 48. Holy Light
Nice.
is a 2-action command and interact. Your relic shines with Holy Light. It creates a bright light within 30 feet emanation around the item. Evil creatures in the area become frightened 1 and cannot lower their frightened value below 1 for as long as they remained in the light. Fiends in the area increase any weakness to good damage they have by 5. You can sustain the activation for up to a minute. And then lastly, Propelling Winds, a 2-action command and interact, frequency once per hour. The relic casts Fly, targeting yourself.
Ooh, Rari can take to the air.
And now that you know everything about this weapon, that because you are bound to it, I'm going to DM you the link.
Man, it is raining hard where I am.
There we go. You are now officially bonded to this weapon.
Nice.
And unless anybody else has anything they want to do, I believe this is where I'm going to end the session. this is where I'm going to end the session, unless anybody else wants to do anything.
No.
All right. Upon
Ritual
successfully
is a success?
successfully completing this ritual,
Sweet.
Rari is now successfully bonded to this magic item, and good session, everybody.
Heck yeah.